Just want to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us for Property Management Essentials. My name is Andre. I'm a part of the documentation team at BGL, and we'll be running through a Simple Fund 360 Education Week webinar. So before we start, just doing a bit of housekeeping. So if you have any questions, which we do encourage, please use the Q&A mode, as everyone here is on listen only mode. So if you can put in your Q&A, I'm joined here by a couple of my colleagues, and if I can't answer your questions, they surely will be able to. So please do send questions throughout today's training. It should be also noted that this webinar is recorded, so this will be posted amongst other of our webinars this week to the BGL YouTube channel. And for those who are registered attendees, will also receive an email and a link to the recording. So if you can't stay for the whole of today's webinar, you can always look back when it's convenient to you. Okay, so today we've already done building your SMSF knowledge as well as mastering SuperStream. So these topics will be available to be viewed later on. However, we do have a few more that's going to be posted during this week. So you can see here, I'll send everyone here a link to where you can register for these events. If you just give me a moment. So I'll just send a link in the box. So if you are interested in any of these, feel free to register and we'll see you there. All right, so we are doing Simple Fund Education Week this week, Simple Funds 360 that is. Next week it is Simple Invest, and the following week is CAS 360. So in that link I sent you, if you are interested in any of our other products that we offer, such as Simple Invest or CAS 360, please register for those webinars. All right, so that brings us to what we're doing today. So what we're going to do in our Property Essentials webinar is first create a property. So we'll show you the property dashboard, then we'll record the settlement and record depreciation. I'll show you some of our schedule providers. We'll show you how to generate the rental property statement, as well as our revaluations. And then we'll have a look at a few property reports that will help you to manage your properties and SMSFs. And then finally, our last step is to show how to dispose of the property. All right, that being said, let's get into the software. So I've just logged in to the Jones Superannuation Fund. So our first step in order to create a property is to go to our investments tab on the left-hand side. Then we're going to go to our property dashboard. Give it a moment. So you can see here it's quite empty. However, you can see it's also integrated with Google Maps. So when we create a property, you'll see it'll pinpoint where the property is. So the first step is to add a new property. I'm going to enter the location. Road. We need to generate a security code. We'll just do this Hawthorne. And we can also choose what property type it is, if it's overseas or if is it residential or commercial. So we're going to keep it as these two. As well, below we have the option for a farming property, and is this asset subject to LRBA, which we'll just tick it for now. We'll talk about it later. Add the account. Awesome. So the property has been there. So what the next step is to add an initial investment. An initial revaluation. So I'm going to do we'll close. When we first press that plus tick, this plus sign over here, and we can add a revaluation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the date to be the first of the 7th, 2023. So the first of the 24 financial year, which we are going to work in, and we're going to value it as $1 million. 1 million. And if we had any source documents, we would just put it through here. But we're just going to add that revaluation. So the property has been created. So our next step is to record our deposit. So what we're going to do is go to the accounting tab, go to our transaction list. As you can see, it's quite empty, so we're going to have to put some transactions in. So we're going to do a bank statement. I'm going to update the date to be the 1st of the 7th, 2023. I'm going to record the deposit. So we need to select our property account. So for those that know it, it's 77200. That's the code that we use. However, if you didn't know the code, you can just search up real estate. And you can see the code of the account that we're going to use populates here. So our units, we're going to put 1 in with a deposit value of 200,000. So below in our more details, we can see we can do the settlement and the contract date. So we're actually going to delay the contract date to be the 9th of 2023, 1st of the 9th, that is. So we're going to be happy with that, and we're going to press post. So that is our deposit. The next step is to record the settlement. So we go back to our bank statement. We're going to edit the date to be the 9th, the 1st of the 9th, or 1st of September. And then we're going to say record the settlement. So we're going to go back and we're going to select that 77200 account, which is our property account. And the next step is to put 0 in the units. I'm just going to pause here and just explain the significance around the units column. So probably one of the biggest issues that we find is that sometimes clients put another 1 here for properties. So what would happen if we put another 1? The system would register that this is an additional property or an additional unit to this property. So here we're going to do a 0. A 0 signifies that it's a cost-based adjustment. So now we're going to put in the rest, which is 800,000. And you can see we're going to select our parcel. So it's cost-based adjustment. And then we'll press post. But before that, what might happen is if you put 0, it would be, in the system's mind, it would be a manual revaluation. So that's why we need to put 0, not 1, or not nothing. All right, I'm going to press post. So here we've recorded in the ledger, the purchase of the property. Okay, next step is to do our depreciation. So to do depreciation in Simple Fund 360, we're going to go to our compliance. So period compliance, we're going to select depreciation. Okay, we're going to remove. What we're going to do is do a new. Give me a second. Yep, we're just going to remove this one. That's from the previous run. So here we have an option either to create a new asset or create a new worksheet. So an asset, in the situations where you're doing an asset, would be when you're doing a single asset to depreciate. So a good example would be a vehicle. When you would use a worksheet is when you have, or a good example here is a property where you have multiple assets within that investment that depreciate at a different value. And so with the benefits of a worksheet, you can put all those assets together and depreciate them all in one worksheet. I'll show you how we do that. So we're going to press new worksheet. I'm going to select our property, which is our 77200 Hawthorne. And our first asset we're going to do is our air conditioning. Asset code is A1. Put our purchase date as the 1st of the 7th, 2023. Our opening cost will be 2,000. Now we can choose our depreciation method. So we have our prime cost method. We also have our diminishing value method, our low value pool method, and capital works deduction. We're going to be using our prime cost method. And the depreciation rate will be 6.7. And our open written down value would be 2,000. And the closing written down value will update once the depreciation will be posted. So the next asset, to add another asset, we're going to press add to registry. So you can see here it's posted, and we can edit and we can delete it if necessary. So our next asset is the dishwasher. Our asset code will be dish. Our purchase date will be the 1st of the 7th, 2023. Our opening cost will be 700. Our depreciation method will remain prime cost method, and our depreciation rate this time will be 10%. And we're going to add to registry another one. So our final one is going to be our capital works. So we're going to put capital works. Our asset code will be capital. Purchase date will be the 1st of the 9th, 2023. Opening cost will be 240,000. Depreciation method will be capital works deduction, and that'd be 2.5%. And our opening cost will also be 240,000. Now, what we just did there, we did it manually, and we'll press add to registry. But what we also do, we have another option, is to import a CSV. So if I download a template, so we'll download one here. Awesome. You can see what you would do instead of doing it manually, which I just did, you would fill it in, keeping the template the same. And once you've completed that, we'll get out of here. Once you've completed that, you would just simply import to the CSV file, and it will do it for you. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to press close. So we've created our depreciation schedule. What we're going to do now is post our depreciation. So we're going to post it as of the 30th of the 6th. I'm going to keep it as posted. So it's successfully posted. And I'll show you where it is now. So if we go to our accounting, so you can't see it straight away, what you need to do is go to our depreciation tab. You can see it's been posted right here. Now, I'm going to go back here because we still got to do one more step. So go back to our period compliance. And we need to mark this as reviewed. So to do that, we're going to select it here, make sure the box is here, and go mark this reviewed, and we're going to confirm it. The reason why we want to mark it as reviewed is that so when we go into the next financial year, we want this worksheet to appear in the next financial year as well. So if it remains in our incompleted, it's going to stay in the previous financial year. So you would have to create that new worksheet. So that's why we keep it as reviewed. So when we open that new financial year, it's going to be there. Now, I don't know how everyone's getting their depreciation rates. I'm sure everyone does it differently. However, just to let everyone know, we do have some integration with our providers here. So we do partner with these guys, which offer depreciation schedule services. And I'll show you where you can find it again. So it's below that depreciation, and you have your schedule providers through here. So if you are looking for someone to do your schedule providing for depreciation, this is where you could find them. Okay. All right. So I want to just go back to our PowerPoint. I'm just going to explain a new concept, and this is going to be our linked accounts. So with our linked accounts, what linked accounts are accounts that we use to post depreciation, rent, or other different uh, transactions that doesn't affect the initial capital of the with the property. So you would remember when we first recorded the purchase of the property, we used the 77200 real estate. However, for example, if you're going to record rent from that property, you can't use the middle one because it will affect the capital of the depreciation, or will be so it would affect the capital of the property. However, if we use our 2,800 account, which is our rent, the system will recognize it as income and it will be taxed as such. So that's why we use our linked accounts. I think that's quite an important feature for properties within Simplify 360. All right. That being said, we're going to do our rental statement. We go back into the software. All right. So we do actually automate. We do have Smart Docs technology to help us streamline this this process for the rental statement. So I've actually got a document. So if I go to our documents, upload it through here, it should be noted that my colleague Daniel was going to do an automate with data webinar tomorrow. So if you're going to be interested about these sort of things, I'm just going to really go. I won't pause for too long and explain it all because I'm sure Daniel tomorrow will go through it. So we're just going to go through it quickly. So we're going to select our document. So you can see it's been scanned. When you go to our transactions, you can see it's selected our property, but we need to add another row because like our transaction, it's all been one-sided and it needs a final adjustment. So what we're going to do is when you scroll down, we go to our new row. We need to select this one, 60400 for our bank. I'm going to press confirm. What we're going to do is remove that button here. We're going to put in our adjustment. Put our negative in. We're going to post our adjustment journal. All right, so the rental statement has been created successfully. So we're going to view our transaction. And here is all of our accounts that it's just been posted. So you can see here, so remembering with our linked accounts, or I just mentioned, you can see it here, and you know it's our linked accounts because you can see it has 2800 / the same security code. So that pretty much tells you what's occurring. So we're going to press save, and it's all going to be here. So now that we have all of our property rental statements in, we're going to go back to our property dashboard. So we're going to go back to our investments, property dashboard. We're going to select our property and we're going to generate the rental statement. And you can see here, it's picked up all of our the rental statements through that document screen. It's come through here. And so you can see it's gone through and it's already integrated with everything. So if anyone is actually interested about more about what we just gone through with our Smart Docs 360, what's happening is that team has created their own product, that is. And if you're looking to use that technology outside of Simplify 360, we've generated a new product which you can do. So it currently integrates with Xero, but you can also do it so you can fill into your Excel spreadsheets. So I'm just going to put in a link in the chat box where you can have a look and maybe contact the team if you want to look into this further. All right, let's go get back into the program. All right, so that brings us to our revaluations. So we've processed the full financial year. What we're going to do now is we're just going to get a valuation for the end of the financial year. Um, what you can do is we do integrate with our external software providers. So you can see here we do have a bunch of valuation providers that do different aspects, different properties. Some do farming, some don't, stuff like that. So if you are interested into getting someone to integrate and do your valuations for your SMSFs, you can do it through here. So all you would need to do, perhaps if I want to go with CBRE, I would hold and press connect through here. What we also do is we also integrate with loan providers. So these are a group of lovely providers. So if you're looking for an SMSF lending provider, we integrate with these, so it does make it a bit more streamlined if you're using Simple Fund 360 to do your SMSFs. So it's just all in one place. So again, if you are looking for them, there are external service providers through here. With them, it should be noted that it's not a two-way integration. What will happen is that you will go to them, you'll press connect, and they will give you a figure. And through that figure, you would have to put it in manually into Simple Fund 360. So to do that, we're just going to go press our plus button again. When you keep it same date, but this valuation is going to be increased by $250,000. And if I had that source document, I'd put it through here. But if not, just keep it through here. Awesome. So you can see here, right below, we can keep track about what's going on with our valuations, what date has been occurred, what type of valuation it is, as well as the source documents if provided. All right, so we go to our compliance. Our next step is to create entries. Make sure it all works. Now, this is when you do your end of year financial reporting, but for today's scenario, we're just going to close the period and go into the new financial year. Okay. So now that we've closed the financial year, our new goal is to dispose of that property. So to dispose of the property, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our reports, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite reports when looking after properties, and that is our unrealized capital gains. So we're just going to generate this report. So this is the report where it's going to show us the bones of the property. You can see the market value has been included from our revaluation. And what we're just doing here is we're just going to have a look just to make sure everything is correct on our sides, just before we dispose of the property. Because once we dispose of the property, it does make it a little bit harder to remove the transaction and then edit anything else that should have been edited beforehand. So that's why we're just going to have a look at our unrealized capital gains report just to make sure everything is correct. And I'm happy with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to go to our accounting. And we're going to process the disposal. So we're going to go to our bank statement. It's a new financial year. So what we're going to do is change the date. So we're going to do disposal. We're going to select our property, 77,200. And select our property again, do our units. And we're going to record it as a sale of 1,300,000. Below here, we can edit our contract dates and our settlement dates. I'm just including the deposit and settlement all in one. Just an easy way to show what's going on. However, if you are going to do it, you can separate the lines to make it more easily to distinguish between the transactions. So you can add a line through here, but we're just going to keep it as this today. All right. We're going to press post. You can see it's been disposed of. What we're going to do now is go to our compliance. Sorry, not compliance, our reports. We're going to have a look at our other report, which is our realized capital gains. So this is our realized capital gains report. When you have a look at this realized capital gains, you can see it goes into a bit more detail to see what the actual net profit was, what other capital gains is incurred through that through the property or through the sale of the property, that is. You can see here as well the accounting profit and loss as well. Okay. I believe that is it today. I can see there's a few questions in the Q&A box, so I'll do my best to answer a couple. Make sure it's all good. All right. So with that bank statement I showed before, I can see there's a couple of questions. I want to go back into the previous financial year. Look, it's just a different way to handle it. So if I go to the previous financial year, you can see it is a rental statement reconciliation journal. So it is designed to be posted at the end of the financial year. So what it will do, it will look at what's been posted as well. So if it has any journal products, any journals that has been incorporated in the year. So if you've posted to, let's just say, this account here, 41920. It would have a look. It would have a look at the ledger amount as well as anything else. So because there was no data in the first place, there was no sort of reason why there was a reconciliation. However, in this training, we just use it as a journal to be posted. Okay. I hope that answers a couple of questions there. So with that property unit, so we'll just do it through here for this example. So 0 here, it means it's a cost-based adjustment. So if the 0 is on the debit side, it's increased. The reason why we wanted a property to be 0 is that we don't want a property to be 2. So that means if this was a 1, because then the property would have 2 units considered in the software. That's why we need to make sure if we're going to increase the cost base of the investment, we're going to use 0 as the units. And then if we're going to increase it, when the 0 is, you can see here on the debit side, we're going to put in our values on the debit side. So if, let's just, for example, 0 was on the other side and it was on the credit side, it would decrease the cost base. Look, this technology with bank reconciliation is out today. Probably the best way to really answer your question now is actually for you to go out and try it yourself. I mean, it's all there. So if we go to our reports, our documents, you can see I've just uploaded here. And it's been attached to our transaction. Like I said before, because there was no real data to reconcile, this was a training fund, didn't really need to reconcile, which is posting whatever was the rental statement. So you can see it is all through here. However, it's in beta and is also available in your program if you have it. So I probably can't show exactly what you're suggesting in your scenario, but I would recommend doing it on your behalf, on your side, and trying it out. Should we create the bank account after we upload the rental statement? So with all of these figures here, what you would need to do is create the bank account in the first place. Otherwise, what will happen is that there will be no account to choose. So what I did today was I already created the bank account that we're going to use. So Before you do any of our smart matching technology, or even before you start doing anything in the fund, it's probably a good idea to create a bank account so you have something to match against. It's much like our transaction screen. So in the sense that what will happen is that you need to choose in a bank account to reconcile or to choose where the money is going to. So yeah, you will need to use a bank account. So you would need to create it in the first place. Uh, can we import a PDF of depreciation schedule provided? Yes, you can. So if I go back to our compliance, what you need to do, I think I mentioned before, is when you do your uh, and you edit, you can import it through here, but you just need to make sure it fits our Excel spreadsheet template. So you can just put it through. Otherwise, it's just not going to read correctly, and you might need to adjust it. So as long as it fits our template, which you can download through here and then upload through here, it will work. All right.